I just left the Carson shelter today, and it's frustrating. I'm frustrated for two different reasons. Um, the first being, I was there for about 2.5 hours, photographing the dogs, hanging out with them and everything. During that entire time that I was there, I didn't see a single dog out in the play yard at all. Not a single one was taken out. Of course, the shelter's understaffed. They always say that. Of course, they don't have enough volunteers. They always say that. Well, here I am on a Tuesday, spending close to 3 hours at the shelter. I'm not an official volunteer. I'm taking the time out of my day to come and photograph the dogs. I tried to be an official volunteer, and they declined my application. They said that I had an ongoing conflict with the department. I think that's literally their quote, verbatim. And that's the reason they said, no, we don't need you as a volunteer. Even though they don't have any volunteers. They have very few. They do very few trainings. They are always constantly complaining about being understaffed and all this other stuff. They fired my girlfriend from her volunteer position for doing nothing other than taking dogs out and loving on them and interacting with them. So that's the first thing. That's frustrating. I'm there for 2.5, 3 hours photographing. I don't see any dogs being taken out to the play yard. That's fucked up. That's messed up, man. And then my second point that I want to make is I'm there photographing. And a lot of the dogs are fantastic and easy to photograph because some are standoffish. Some are afraid of my camera. Some I'm able to get the lens right into the hole in the bars. There's all kinds of different, entrances or holes into these kennels, which I have to maneuver around to get the lens through to get a good picture. A lot of the dogs are easy to work with in that way. But there's some dogs that are difficult to get a good picture for a couple of different reasons. Some of them just love to crowd the cage because they want touched and they want petted and they want you to rub their head and their neck because they're just so longing for human affection. Those dogs are very difficult to photograph because they're always at the front of the bar. They're always at the front of the cage. And wherever you go, they follow you because they want to be close to you. And they're amazing dogs, but they're difficult to photograph because you can't get in the cage and you can't take them out of the cage. Another difficult dog to photograph is the overexcited dog that never stops moving, is always wiggling, and again, super happy, super badass, awesome dogs, but they're always happy and they're always wiggling their little butts and they're always running around. They're wanting to, play chase, and it's like you can't get through the bars. I can't get in with them. I can't take them out. These are the happiest dogs, and they're the most difficult to photograph at times because of those reasons. And it's not fair because then I leave and I don't have a good picture of them. Or like today, I'm spending like 10, 15 minutes at a certain dog's kennel just because I want to get a good photograph, and I feel like a major failure if I have to move on because I can't get a good picture and I'm wasting time essentially because there's 50 other dogs that need photographed. You know what that feels like? That feels terrible. That feels terrible to know that I have this amazing dog in front of me who is like fantastic in every way, and I can't even get a good picture of him or her. And I can't take them out, and I can't get into the cage. If I was a volunteer, I could do all that, but I'm not because they declined my application. And even if I wasn't a volunteer, it's like I'm there trying to help the dogs, trying to help network the dogs with good pictures. Can't there be something that can be done to allow me to work a little bit quicker with certain dogs? But there's nothing. I'm just stuck there trying to maneuver my lens through a hole in the fence, in the kennel, trying to trick them into moving into a certain position so I can get off one good photograph. as time ticks and ticks and ticks away. And I just look at the difficulty of that process and think how much easier it could be. And it should be easier. These are dogs' lives. This is all volunteerism at the end of the day. Like people that go, whether you're official volunteer or you're not, you're unofficial like me and you just go, member of the public. It's all people trying to help. It should be easier than this. But I find it's not. And I find that there's so much that they want to hide, and they're so untransparent, and there's so much that they want to keep behind the wall, for lack of a better phrase, or behind the curtain, because it's ugly, that the good people get shut out. Help gets turned away. Interaction gets turned away. Partnerships get turned away. There's so much control necessary on the shelter's end that all ideas and attempts get squandered, basically. And it shouldn't be like that, because they're not suffering. They're just cashing their checks and they're going home. The dogs are suffering, though. Dogs are the victims of that crappy process. I'm in Gardena right now. I'm in Gardena. I'm right here. I could be volunteering right now. I could be there right now. I could have taken 20 dogs out into the play yard in the time that I was there. Having difficulty photographing a dog? No problem. Take him out to the play yard, run around with him, get him a little tired, and then take his photograph. It's easy. It's an easy process, but I don't have that option because they're scared of my blog, and they're scared of what I say, and they don't appreciate me allowing the public to see behind the Iron Curtain.